week 11. This week we're going to be going over social media advertising and social selling. So let's start with social media advertising. There's actually a lot to social media advertising these days, especially with Facebook. So we're just going to kind of do a quick overview because there's just so much involved. And these days there's actually social media advertisers where all they do is work on Facebook ads. That's the only thing they do. So in this course, it's more of an overview of everything social media, but I will give you some resources that you can look further into Facebook ads and getting certified to do those if that's what you're interested in doing. So social media advertising, learning objectives for this small lecturette: understand what social media advertising is, understand how cost-effective social media advertising is, be able to identify the benefits of social media advertising, understand how to create a social media advertising strategy. So this is going to be important for your social media marketing plan. Be familiar with best practices for social media advertising. So what is social media advertising? Well, it's pretty much just like any other marketing advertising. But it's for users on all the different types of social media platforms. All of the platforms you can advertise these days. I'm just going to do an overview of the three main platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So it's also a highly effective way to target your audiences, especially with the Facebook, Instagram apps. You can really dig deep into your demographics and your target audience of who you want to target that particular ad to. So some of the benefits of social media advertising is brand awareness, a greater reach, increased social and website traffic. So it's a great way to drive people to your website for further purchases or further information. Improve search engine ranking, so that SEO, that search engine optimization. Increase leads and higher conversion rates. Cost effective. It's a lot less expensive than other types of marketing. It's highly measurable, so with the platforms like Hootsuite and Sprout Social, you can definitely measure those analytics. Audience targeting, marketplace, and customer insights. A lot of the insights are free with the apps. Increase brand loyalty, and when it comes down to it, increase revenue, because that's what you want to do. You want to make money. So what you do with an advertising strategy, the steps, just like any social media, just like any other marketing plan, you start with selecting your goals. You need to have a goal of why you're having this advertisement, whether it's increasing web traffic, your clicks, views, engagement, leads, or sales. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be a sale. Maybe you're a newer page, a newer business page, and you're just trying to get a lot of likes and engagements and followers. That's totally fine. That's your goal. Goals should be tied to the overall social media goals of the company and will dictate the campaign objective used when placing social media ads. So with me and my clients, when they talk about investing money into advertising, I ask them what their goals are. And if they don't have their goals, then how can I do my job with advertising? They need to know their business objectives and their business goals before setting money aside to put into a budget for social media advertising. Next, you want to select your target market. Usually this is the same target market as your social media marketing strategy, so it should follow it, but each ad could be different depending on what you're promoting. So if you're promoting a certain event that's in San Marcos only, maybe your demographic is just San Marcos community and within a 5-mile, spread of San Marcos. So it could be like parts of Carlsbad, Vista, and Escondido. Or maybe you're selling a product just to San Diego residents, so your demographic would just be SoCal of San Diego. Do you want to target people that follow you already, or do you want to attract a new audience? It's pretty nice that you can choose either or a combination of both. So third step is to select your platforms. Consider the target market and the way the target market interacts on each platform. If you're a business-to-business company, you might want to choose LinkedIn, whereas, if you're a different industry, like maybe the breweries or wineries, you might want to choose Instagram or a combination of a couple, right? Selecting your budget. If the strategy is already in place, you already have an allocated budget, right? Otherwise, you need to know what your budget is. If a new campaign, so you need to decide on the ad and you need to decide on the length of the ad. So in Facebook ads, it's always recommended to do a minimum of 4 days so that the algorithms can actually put out that ad into the feed more. So if you have $100 spread, do you want to spread that over 4 days, or do you want to take that $100 and spread it over 10 days? So you need to decide that. And the best way to figure things out is to either hire a Facebook ad strategist or just to research and test. You're never going to know what your demographic does until you research and test it out. You want to select the ad format. So is it going to be a video, a photo? What kind of copy are you going to put in it? Research and understands the benefits of each ad format before you deploy the ad. So different types of platforms offer different types of formats, and we'll get into that a little bit more. You want to consider the sales funnel or the ads funnel. How will you move customers along the buying journey? So again, with that Facebook blueprint, if you hire a Facebook ad strategist, they create an ad funnel in Facebook just like any other marketing sales funnel. So depending on who responds to your first ad, it will dictate how you post your second ad, your third ad, your auto responses, etc. So during each stage of the buyer's journey, the number of social media users that move on to receive the next ad decreases as a brand gains more qualified leads. Brands must ensure they are planning for a series of social media advertisements and not just one. So again, you need to hire someone who really knows that, or you yourself if you're interested in learning that. Again, take a look at Facebook Blueprint. I'll have the link here on a different slide. Developing the content. What are you going to say? Who's going to take the images? Who's going to take the videos? Sometimes there's a lot involved in doing an ad. If you're outsourcing your video, doing the video shoot, you have to wait for the editing, and finally you get your video. You need to make sure it's in that time frame for that particular platform. So if it's an Instagram video, it's going to be 30 seconds. If it's a YouTube video, it might be a little longer, or it might be even shorter, just a little 10-second clip. Same thing with images. Are you going to be hiring a photographer, setting up a photo shoot, setting up a series of shoots? You want to make sure you have some sort of call to action. Many social media platforms prefer little to no text to be placed over images used for ads. So think more images, less graphics, okay? Less text, less graphics. You want the text in the actual copy itself, not on the graphic. And Facebook will warn you of this when you create your ad. And you always want to make sure it's optimized for mobile use. These days, it's pretty much optimized for you. When you create the ad in Facebook or Instagram, it will show you the desktop view and the mobile view. So that's very convenient. So here's just kind of a screenshot of how it kind of looks in Facebook when you create an ad. It shows you the post engagements, the actual post that you can click on, people reached. And then when you click this in further, it opens up even more windows where you can see even more insights and analytics. So Facebook Ads Manager, it's a tool to create and manage Facebook and Instagram ads, create and run ads, target ads, set ad budgets, and measure how ads are performing. So there's a lot to learn about that. But if you want to learn about that and get certified, I believe right now the certification for Facebook ads is either free or very inexpensive for students. So take a look at that. It's constantly changing the price depending on how this COVID thing's happening. Take a look at that. Click on the link, and that might be something you're interested in. Here's kind of what an overview of what the Facebook Ads Manager looks like. So you have your account overview, campaigns, ad sets, ads, more tools. There's a ton of tools in here. Creating new ads, duplicate, edit, export all the information. You can export all the info into an Excel file. You can see, if it was delivered, completed, or maybe you have scheduled ads. Bidding strategy, if you're doing bidding wars, budget, you want to make sure you don't go over your budget when you're bidding. And results, how many clicks did you get to your website or on the link that you're advertising. Here's another screenshot, just, diving in even further, your ad set, all the different tools involved here, brand awareness, reach, when you create an ad, what does it go to? What are the different campaigns you can set up? Are you trying to, what are your goals? Is it traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, messages, and the number of conversions, catalog sales, store traffic? So it's very useful for, e-commerce would be good. Messages are those auto direct messages that you kind of receive in Facebook. Creating new ad sets, your page, your audience. This is where you select all the audience information, and it tells you your audience size based on the money you're spending and the days that you're going to be running your ad. So budgeting and scheduling, this is where you put in all your budgeting. And again, this is just a really brief overview because there's just so much involved. You really need to just play around with this. So this is why I always say to, if you're going to have clients, create a business page for yourself first and test all this stuff on your own pages in case you don't like the outcome or you make a mistake. You're doing it on your own page with your own money instead of your client's page and your client's money, or your boss's page and your boss's money, right? And this is where you can pick the days, and again, always recommend 4 days minimum, your daily budget, and this will change depending on your final budget. So if your final spend, see, it'll say right here, your final spend, your ad will run for 4 days, you'll spend no more than $40. Great. Maybe that's $100, maybe that's $1,000. You just never know. Here's another just overview screenshot. You want to name your ad, and you can reuse these ad settings. So once you set your demographic, your spend, your days, you can duplicate that. So you can save the ad and use it again. And here's what it looks like. So it displays it for you, and you can click on here, desktop, mobile version, and this is what your ad would look like. Do you want it to say contact us? And you have different options you can put here that for the call of action link. If you notice here, it's a photo. There's no graphic with text. Very little text and a photo. So Facebook targeting options are location. Like I said earlier, do you want it just to be San Marcos? Do you want it to be 5-mile radius? Do you want it to be San Diego, all of the United States? Maybe you're a San Diego company and you're targeting New York. You can do anything you want. Demographics, age, gender, ethnicity, education, language, homeownership, anything you want. Homeownership would be great if you're into real estate or mortgages. Interests, so if you're targeting runners, you can put in runner, health and wellness, working out, marathon, half marathon, connection type, people who like your page or new people who haven't liked your page yet, behaviors, automotive, financial, purchase behaviors, travel, business to business, or custom audiences. I always like to create custom audiences and then I save them for later. Your ad objectives, or your Facebook ad objectives. What are your objectives? Awareness. You want to generate interest in a product or a service, or yourself, if you're an entrepreneur. Consideration. Get people to start thinking about your business and look for more information, so get that interest. This could also increase your website traffic, maybe downloading free apps, clicking on videos to watch, collecting leads. So maybe collecting email addresses once you send them to your website, increasing engagements on posts so that it shows up on even more people's feeds, conversions, which is really what we want. We want to encourage people to purchase or use a product or a service. So there's different types of Facebook ads these days. We have your carousel, your slideshow, collection, playables, photo, video, stories, and messenger. So when I say you need to choose your ad format, this is what I mean. These are ad formats, the different types of Facebook ads. There's a lot now. So if you're not on Facebook, remember I've said this before, if you're maybe a different demographic and or generation and you're not on Facebook, your customers are on Facebook though. So you need to know how to use it for at least business purposes, right? Here are 2 examples of different types of Facebook ads here, so please click on these links, check them out. Measuring your Facebook ads. So you get insights through Facebook for free, and it's through the Facebook Ad Manager, and you can also measure your Facebook ads through different scheduling apps like Hootsuite or Sprout Social. Usually you have to have the paid accounts for those. It doesn't work on the free accounts, but Facebook itself will provide you plenty of insights. So here's kind of a screenshot of what that looks like, an overview. You have your performance, what you spent, how many days, engagement, people reach, cost per engagement, how many people clicked on the photo, clicked on the link, comments, and a preview. If it was a good ad, maybe you want to boost it again. All right, so that's kind of Facebook, and we all know Facebook is connected to Instagram, so they kind of work together, but they are a little different. Instagram is the second most popular social media network for advertising. For brands wishing to advertise on Instagram, they must have a Facebook page and create an Instagram business profile. So we kind of already went over that. All of you guys have that now from our assignments, previous assignments, so you know what a Instagram business profile is. The different ad formats for Instagram are photo, video, carousel, and stories. And now we kind of have a new thing called Reels, which I'm not really going over in this lecture, but it's kind of a newer tool that's come out this year. So I still need to research all of that, and I'm playing around with it myself on my personal business pages before I start implementing it into clients' pages. So, and there's also IGTV, but these are the four main ones for Instagram ads right now. Reels is coming up though, because Reels is competing with TikTok. And then we have Twitter advertising. Twitter ads can help brands expand their influence and connect with new audiences. So here's information on how to set up Twitter ads similar to the Facebook blueprint. Twitter has its own information here. And these platforms, they want you to learn how to place ads because they want you to spend money. So they have very good tutorials here on how to set up these ads. They want you to spend money. So it allows businesses to create a campaign for a variety of business goals, from driving website traffic to increasing brand awareness. So same thing as all the other platforms, right? The types of Twitter ads, slightly different. We have promoted tweets, which appear directly in the timelines of the Twitter users' brand targets, and at a specific time they have bid on. So again, you have the bidding thing. They are clearly labeled as promoted, so you know that if it's an ad or not. Now, when we talk about bidding, if you want to learn more about bidding, click on the link here. I'm not going to go over it in this lecture. You're not really going to be tested on any of that. There's a lot involved in bidding as well. You have promoted accounts, an ad that invites Twitter users to follow a brand on Twitter. Promoted trends, most talked about subjects, appears on the left side of the page on the Discover tab. And here are some screenshots of the different types of ad formats here for Twitter. So there's 4 different ones here. You can see the promoted, right? So you know that it's an ad. And the last platform I'm going to go over is LinkedIn advertising. So this is great for business to business companies looking to reach a professional target market. So maybe you are a software company and you're trying to sell Salesforce or another type of CRM, which is software to business people, right? So you want to use LinkedIn advertising. With over 500 million active professionals on LinkedIn, a brand can target audiences by job title, function, industry, and more. So maybe you're selling a software to production managers at businesses. So you're going to look for that job title, production managers. You could care less about knowing a marketing person at the company because that's not the person who's going to be buying your software. It's the production manager, right? So you want to look at a job title. Maybe it's industry. Maybe you're selling a software for pharmaceutical only, so you'd want to look into that industry. Again, you can use demographic data, customized targeting with matched audiences. So there's website retargeting, which is targeting audiences that visit a brand's website. Contact targeting, which is uploading or integrating existing customer email lists. So if you have a database already. Account targeting, matching a brand's target companies against the 13 plus million company pages on LinkedIn. So a great place. Look at that, 13 million company pages on LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn targeting, with over 690 million active professionals on LinkedIn, brand can target audiences by job title, function, industry, and more. Kind of already said that in the previous slides. Your demographic data. So again, the website retargeting, content targeting, account targeting, LinkedIn Audience Network helps brands reach target audiences on thousands of partner apps and websites beyond LinkedIn. So here's the 4 types of main ad formats for LinkedIn. You have your sponsored content, which you'll see it's sponsored. Your sponsored in-mail, I get these all the time. I don't know if you guys do or not, which is kind of like a direct message, a sponsored direct message. Text ads and dynamic ads. I've never received these 2, but I definitely get a lot of the in-mails. So what it comes down to, the best practices for social media advertising is selecting the right goals, platforms, and ad formats. Targeting the right people. So this is kind of like a summary list here. Consider the ad funnel and buyer's journey. Use high quality and engaging videos and images always with any platform. Include clear call to action and links. Embed tracking pixels. You'll learn about this in the steps when you create your Facebook ad. It's a thing called pixels. It's like a little code you put so that you can go back to it later and view insights. A/B testing. Similar to email testing, we have A/B testing. Consider the time of day and scheduling. Monitor, report, and analyze metrics, right? Always important to do that. Okay, so next we're going to go over social selling, which is pretty much used on LinkedIn only. LinkedIn is a great tool and it just keeps enhancing with different features. So learning outcomes for social selling, understand what social selling is and how the industry has shifted to social selling over the past decade. Recognizes the benefits of social selling for multiple stakeholders. Learn how a sales professional can get started with social selling and know how to implement a social selling strategy with an organization. So when I was a marketing director for corporate companies, I worked a lot on social selling and LinkedIn with my sales reps. I would have webinars with them. I would teach them how to do that, set up different things, and it worked out a lot. It was a great way to get leads for them because at this particular corporate company, we sold software. So it was definitely B2B business. 90% of top decision makers say they never respond to a cold call, right? I mean, we don't even answer them anymore. It even says on our cell phone now, spam, right? We don't answer phone calls. Consumers are already 57% of the way through the purchase process before they ever engage with a sales professional, right? Even retail items. If you're searching for, an expensive item like a certain car or a certain computer or a phone even, you're kind of already do the research on your own. And by the time you get to the store or the e-commerce website to make that purchase or to talk to a sales rep, you kind of already know what you're going to get. 57%. 75% of B2B buyers and 84% of executives are using contacts from social media as part of their purchase process. And that number is just going higher and higher. So what is social selling? It's when a salesperson uses social media to interact with and sell products to prospect customers. So again, using those in messages with LinkedIn, building relationships, finding out what their needs are, their problems are, so that they can be the solution. It requires active listening and engaging. It's time consuming. It takes time. Approaching a prospect with a solution to a problem he or she may be having, especially when it comes to something like software, right? You want to streamline their problems, get rid of their problems, make life easier for them. So some of the benefits of social selling is a more favorable impression of salespeople when introduced to social networks. Conducting a social audit of the salesperson before deciding whether to work with him or her, right? You don't want to work with someone who's like maybe fresh out of the gate. Maybe you want to work with someone with experience, who's honest, reliable, trustworthy, interacting with sales professionals in a non-invasive way because you're not on the phone. Maybe you're not being pressured as much because you're not on the phone and you're not in person. You're doing it through social media, which in a way is a little harder for the sales reps, but it's better for the purchaser, right? So there's pros and cons of benefits of social selling. But definitely for the buyer, it's a lot less invasive. So here's a screenshot of social selling, and this particular ad is on Facebook. So just an example here, Ghost Runners Coaching, a bunch of copy on selling people to sign up for a coaching program, pictures of the coaches, real simple. Salesperson benefits of social selling. So we went over the buyer benefits, and these are the sales benefits. Establishing sales professionals, professional brands, reducing research time because of all the tools available there now. Personalized sales pitches, so you kind of already know that problem of that person because you've been able to research them ahead of time, so you can have the solution ready to go in your sales pitch. It's easier to build relationships because people can respond back to you maybe on their time instead of missing a phone call, or not being able to connect them in person. You can send them a social media message. Deeper customer relationships, increased lead conversion rates, and shorter sales cycles. This is really key for those that are into sales and business. Shorter sales cycles. You definitely want that. And the company benefits of social selling. So we've gone through the buyer benefits and the seller benefits, but what are the company benefits? And at the end here, more leads, increased revenue, right? Because your sales reps are selling more productive and qualified sales team, increased customer retention with more loyal customer base because those sales reps have established and built and are retaining those customer relationships online, increasing brand recognition because the sales reps are promoting the brand more on social media, competitor differentiation, and return on investment. So how do you get started with social selling? 77% of sales and marketing technology decision makers in the process of optimizing a formal social selling program. So establishing yourself as an industry expert first, right? And a thought leader on social media. And we've kind of gone over the different ways of doing this. You know, we got Facebook groups, we got LinkedIn groups, or just posting on LinkedIn showing that you're an expert of your field, and being at the right place at the right time when a sales opportunity arises. Because people post questions these days. Hey, I need to find a plumber in the North County area. Does anyone recommend one or know one? Yeah, I'm a plumber. You can respond back to them. That's a lead for you on social media. I see it all the time, especially in groups. So here's an example of one of those sales ads messages that you can get on LinkedIn. So how many leads do you talk to every month? We found about marketing and PR firms typically have way too little leads to sustain and growing business, blah, 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 blah. If that sounds interesting, let's chat. Pick a time that works for you this week to speak with our Director of Client Strategy here. So they have a call to action link. And that's kind of their ad there. And if it's something someone's interested in, they're going to click on it, right? So other ways of getting started with social selling that you need to make sure that you do is to optimize all your social media profiles, which we went over that earlier in the semester. Ask for endorsements and recommendations. Remember, we went over that with your optimizing your LinkedIn page. Same thing with business pages. Ask for client referrals. It doesn't hurt to ask for client referrals when you finished a project or a service or sold a project to a client and you follow up with them and they say how wonderful you are and wonderful the product is. Ask them, hey, I would appreciate a referral, or I would appreciate a recommendation. I'm so glad to serve you and I hope to serve you, your family, and friends. Again, join groups and start networking online, answer customer inquiries, create thought-provoking posts that directly addresses customer needs. So after you do your market research and you know your customers' needs, post about it. Tell them how you can help them and be a solution for those needs. So an example of, here's an example of a group. It's called Social Media Managers. It's on Facebook, and when it comes down to it, it is created by a company called Social Media Pro, who sells social media training. But instead of just being sell, I want to sell the social media training, which I think is like $500 for the year or something. They create a group first. They have people post and communicate, interact about problems they have in social media or things they want to learn or don't know how to do. These people who put this group together, they answer the questions, they show that they have industry expertise, and then later they say, oh, I am going to buy training from these people. They know what they're talking about, right? So that's example number one there. Another example is back to the running coaching. So they have their main page. They also have a Ghost Runners free coaching tips where, again, they have people chime in, ask questions about running, nutrition, strength training. The coaches answer all the questions. They show their domain expertise, that they know what they're talking about. They provide free tips, free guidance, information, content, and then when the person's ready to hire a coach, they say, hey, I'm going to hire these guys. I already have a relationship established with them. People say their testimonials in the group, and there you go. So these particular examples are in Facebook, but you could do the same thing in LinkedIn. Now, there are challenges with social selling within an organization. There's lack of confidence in the sales teams to engage on social media, especially if it's an older demographic. This is where I recommend the marketing team going in there and creating lunch and learns, webinars, and handbooks for the sales reps to make it easy for them. There is a limited understanding of social selling products. No alignment between sales and marketing teams. So whether you like it or not, you need to become besties with the sales team, and it's not an easy thing to do if you're on the marketing side. They hate each other, but they love each other. Inability to understand the ROI of social selling, and insufficient social selling training. So when you implement a social selling plan with your organization, you want to gain executive buy-in. So you want to make sure that the CEO is on board, all the department heads are on board. It just makes your life so much easier. Provide social media training to the sales reps. Establish goals for them. Provide the tools to help them. Execute the plan. Empower and incentivize. So you need to show them how they can get more leads and get more warm calls, warm leads, instead of cold calls, cold leads. And you want to measure their success. So LinkedIn has a platform called Sales Navigator, which is a paid part of LinkedIn, and it helps with all the social selling. It helps set up everything. You can dig deeper into researching, doing market research on your prospects, and creating different ads. If you'd like to learn more about that, actually this isn't an if, you should learn more about this. You need to click on the YouTube link here and watch the video. It's really short and it's very informative on what Sales Navigator does. So some social selling tips: choose the most relevant social network. So what platforms are your prospects on? Follow the right Twitter users if you're on Twitter. Building your network by using different tools to make it easier. An example of that is called Follower Wonk. I'm sure there's plenty of new ones out there and better ones. Create a list of companies and follow them, right? You can create an Excel sheet of your prospects. So market research first and then follow them and engage with them and start establishing relationships with them. Get instant notifications when prospects join LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn Save Search feature to do this. Join and participate in LinkedIn groups. Connect with potential customers on LinkedIn, and don't just send them a request to follow them on LinkedIn. When you want to connect with someone on LinkedIn, it pops up a window and it allows you to put in like a couple sentences, personal message. Always put in a personal message, who you are and why you want to connect with them on LinkedIn. Otherwise, they're not going to connect with you. Contribute to existing conversations about your brand, so implementing a social listening strategy and start responding to what people are saying about your brand. Providing value by sharing relevant content. So here's a screenshot here of a different networking group. This is in LinkedIn. So there's plenty of networking groups out here. Here's one called 6 Degrees Business Networking Group. And start joining all these groups and engaging, especially right now when no one's physically talking to each other. Be that person who starts conversations on social media. You will stand out. Okay, so that ends week 11 lectures. And our assignments for this week is to check in with the theme park, quiz 10 on advertising and social selling, and your social media marketing plan rough draft is due. So all of this is due this Saturday. Email me if you have any questions, and I'll be creating a Monday update video to go over more details on upcoming assignments.